My name is Renate Richter. I am 72 years old. I live in a small brick house on Lindenstrasse 14 in the quiet town of Bad Soden, 20 minutes outside Frankfurt, Germany. I have silver white hair that I still set in curls every Sunday. Hands that remember every diaper they changed, every school lunch they packed, every tear they wiped from a little boy's face 35 years ago. That little boy is 35 now. His name is Maximilian Robert Richter, Max. And 6 months ago, he stood in my living room with a lawyer and tried to have me declared insane so he could take the money his father and I spent a lifetime saving. This is the whole story. Every ugly, painful, beautiful detail. Because someone out there is living the same nightmare tonight. And I want her to know you are not crazy. You are not alone. And you can win. It started on a Tuesday in April. I had just come home from the hairdresser, my monthly treat, when my phone buzzed with a photo from Lena, my daughter-in-law. Max and Lena on the steps of the little white chapel in the Taunus Hills. Lena in a simple lace dress that still cost 1,800 euro. I knew because I had paid the final installment 2 weeks earlier. Max in the navy suit I bought him for job interviews that never quite happened. Both of them glowing. Mr. and Mrs. Richter, 11/04/2025. Only the people who truly matter. There were 14 people in the photo. I counted 3 times. I was not one of them. I called Max immediately, straight to voicemail. I texted, "Mein Schatz, are you married? Why didn't you tell Mati? I'm so happy for you." The 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Finally, "Hey, Mom, it was super small, just immediate family and closest friends. Didn't want to stress you with planning. We'll celebrate properly in summer when the weather is better." Stress me. The same woman who had paid their 520 euro monthly rent for 36 months straight. The same woman who bought their couch, their bed, their refrigerator, their honeymoon flights to Mallorca, which they extended twice, also on my credit card. The same woman who, when the landlord threatened eviction last December, drove at 6 a.m. to the bank and transferred the missing 1,040 euro before breakfast. I stood in my hallway, holding the pale pink mother of the bride dress I had bought in secret at Peek and Kloppenburg. It still had the tags. Size 42. 199 euro. I had imagined walking behind them at the church, tears in my eyes, proud and uselessly beautiful. Instead, I hung the dress in the back of the wardrobe and closed the door. 7 days later, the phone rang. "Renate, it's Lena." Her voice was small, shaky, the voice she used when the electricity bill was higher than expected. "The rent is due tomorrow and the transfer didn't come through. The landlord is furious. Can you?" I let the silence grow. "Lena," I said, calm as still water, "I only help special people now." Click. I turned the phone off, sat down at my kitchen table, and cried for exactly 4 minutes. Then I opened my banking app and canceled every single standing order in their names. Rent, electricity, internet, mobile phone contracts, Netflix, all gone. For the first time in 3 years, my account balance did not automatically shrink on the first of every month. I felt something I had not felt since Robert died: space to breathe. 3 weeks later, I came home from the supermarket to find 3 cars in my driveway. I recognized Max's battered Golf, Lena's red Fiat, and a black Mercedes I had never seen. The front door, my front door, was unlocked. I walked in with grocery bags in my arms and found them in my living room. Max sat on my sofa, head in his hands. Lena paced, phone to her ear, whispering furiously. A stranger in a charcoal suit stood at my desk, leafing through my personal papers, bank statements, Robert's death certificate, the folder marked Testament. I dropped the bags. Milk smashed on the tiles. What is happening in my house? The stranger turned, smiled like a shark. Mrs. Richter, good afternoon. Harold Fisher, attorney at law. Your children are deeply concerned about your recent erratic behavior. He laid a thick blue folder on my table. Power of attorney. Healthcare proxy. Application for emergency guardianship due to suspected cognitive impairment. Max finally looked up. His eyes were red. Mom, we didn't want it to come to this. Lena's voice cracked theatrically. We're worried you're not yourself anymore. I looked at the boy I once carried home from kindergarten with a broken arm. The boy who cried when his goldfish died. The boy who promised he would always take care of me when I got old. And I asked the only question that mattered. Max, do you honestly believe I have dementia? Or do you just need next month's rent? Silence. Mr. Fisher filled it smoothly. Mrs. Richter, if you sign these documents today, everything stays in the family. If not, we will have no choice but to petition the court for your own protection. I laughed, one short, sharp bark that made Lena flinch. 48 hours, Mr. Fisher said, tapping the folder. After that, we file. They left at dusk.
Max paused at the door. Mom, please don't make this harder than it has to be. I closed the door, locked it, and for the first time in my life, leaned my back against it and slid to the floor. That night, I did not sleep. I sat at the kitchen table with a pot of coffee and every bank statement from the last 3 years. I made columns. Rent. Furniture. Holidays. Little emergencies. 33,412 euros in black ink. At 3:17 a.m., I called Elias Weber. I had met him 20 years earlier when he helped me with Robert's estate. He answered on the second ring. Old men don't sleep either. Renata, it's 3 in the morning. Elias, my son is trying to have me declared insane so he can take my money. 20 minutes later, he was at my door in slippers and a winter coat, eyes blazing. What they are attempting, he said after I showed him the blue folder, is called predatory guardianship. It is elder abuse wearing a suit, and we are going to bury them. The next morning, we began. 1. New locks, same day. 2. Security cameras with cloud storage, installed by noon. 3. Temporary restraining order, filed by 4 p.m. 4. Forensic accountant, hired. 5. Psychiatric evaluation with Dr. Marianne Moore, one of the most respected geriatric psychiatrists in Hessen. Dr. Moore spent 3 hours with me.
Memory tests, logic puzzles, questions about my childhood, my marriage, my grief. At the end, she closed her notebook. Mrs. Richter, your cognition is in the top 5% for your age group. You are sharper than half my medical students. I will testify to that in any court in the land. I cried then, not from relief, from validation. They did not wait 48 hours. 4 days after the invasion, a letter arrived from Amsterricht, Frankfurt. Max and Lena had filed an emergency petition for guardianship, claiming sudden paranoid behavior, installing cameras, financial self-sabotage, canceling support for her only child, social isolation, new friends taking advantage, and refusal of psychiatric evaluation. They forgot to mention I had already had one. Attached were 3 affidavits. 1 from Lena. She accused us of stealing from her. 2 from a neighbor I barely knew. She shouts at family members in the street. And 3 from their new family doctor who had never met me but wrote 3 pages about probable dementia with agitation. Elias read them and laughed until he coughed. They have overplayed their hand, he said. Fabricated evidence is a felony. We countersue for defamation, harassment, and attempted fraud. We did. The hearing was set for 14 October, exactly 6 months after the secret wedding. I wore the black suit I had bought for Robert's funeral. It still fit. Courtroom 217 was cold. Max and Lena sat on the left with their lawyer, a younger man now. The shark had apparently smelled blood elsewhere. Judge Dr. Elizabeth Miller was 60, gray-haired, no nonsense. She had a reputation for smelling greed from 50 meters. Their lawyer opened with tears, Lena's, and drama. Your Honor, my clients are heartbroken. Their beloved mother has fallen under the influence of predatory neighbors and a lawyer who has convinced her to sever all family ties. He painted me as a confused old woman throwing away her life savings on security cameras and strangers who call themselves friends. Then the witnesses. Lena cried beautifully. Max looked broken. He is a good actor when money is at stake. The neighbor babbled about shouting in the street the day I told them to leave my house. Then it was our turn. Elias was magnificent. He began with the money. 33,412 euros in transfers, projected on the screen in red. Then the wedding photo. 14 faces, none of them mine. Tell the court, Frau Schuster, he asked Lena, when was the last time you visited your mother-in-law without asking for money? Lena opened her mouth, closed it. We love her. Specific date, please. She could not name one. He destroyed the neighbor in 90 seconds. He demolished the doctor who admitted under oath he had never examined me. Dr. Marianne Moore took the stand for 20 minutes and spoke like a scalpel. Mrs. Richter's cognitive scores are exceptional. Her affect is appropriate. Her insight into the dynamics of financial exploitation is acute. In my professional opinion, the petitioners are attempting to pathologize completely rational boundary setting. Then he called me. I walked to the stand slowly. Every eye in the room followed the woman they had called crazy. Elias asked only 3 questions. Frau Richter, why did you stop the payments? Because I finally understood that love is not something you buy by the month. Do you believe you need a guardian? I needed a guardian when I was emptying my savings to keep 2 adults in comfort while they excluded me from their wedding. I do not need one now. What do you wish for your son? I looked at Max. For the first time in months, he looked back. I wish for him to become the man I thought I raised. But that is his work now, not mine. Judge Miller did not leave the bench to deliberate. She removed her glasses, looked at Max and Lena, then at me. This petition, she said, is one of the most egregious examples of attempted elder abuse I have seen in 23 years on this bench. The request for guardianship is denied with prejudice. The petitioners will pay all court costs and Mrs. Richter's legal fees. Furthermore, I am forwarding this file to the public prosecutor for investigation of attempted fraud and elder abuse. She turned to me. Mrs. Richter, you are free to live the rest of your life exactly as you choose. And may I say, on a personal note, you look magnificent in that suit. The courtroom was silent. Then my friend Eleanor, who had come to support me, started clapping. Within seconds, the entire gallery was on its feet. Max and Lena left without looking back. Epilogue. My real family. 3 months later, I sold the house on Lindenstrasse. Too many memories and too many cameras watching it. With the proceeds and what was left of my savings, I bought a small flat in the West End with a balcony full of geraniums. Every Thursday evening, 8 women gather in my living room. Widows, divorcees, mothers whose children forgot them. We drink coffee, eat cake I bake myself, and tell the truth out loud. We call ourselves the Freitagfrauen, the Friday women, because every Friday we wake up free. Max and Lena had to move to a 1-bedroom in Escherheim. Lena works at Douglas now. Max drives for Uber on weekends. They still have not paid the 18,000 euros in legal fees the judge ordered. Sometimes, late at night, my phone lights up with an unknown number. I let it ring. I kept the pale pink dress. I had it shortened into a beautiful summer jacket. I wear it to every Freitagfrauen meeting. And every year on 11 April, their secret wedding anniversary, I send them a card. Just 4 words written in my best handwriting. Only special people. Then I turn off the light, kiss the photo of Robert on my nightstand, and sleep the sleep of a woman who finally, completely, utterly belongs to herself. If you are watching this and your child is treating you like an ATM with an expiry date, hear me. You are not crazy. You are not selfish. You are not obligated to set yourself on fire to keep them warm. Close the account, change the locks, call a lawyer. And when they ask why, look them in the eye and say the words that saved my life. I only help special people now. And then go live the glorious, blazing, unapologetic rest of your days. You deserve it. With all my love, Renata Richter, your German grandmother who learned the hard way and won. If this story touched your heart, gave you courage, or simply reminded you that you are worth more than anyone's greed, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps these stories alive and helps another woman somewhere find the strength to say, I only help special people now.